What's up, everybody? How's it going? Glad you could join us for episode 2 of Unscripted, Unscheduled Unboxing of HDMI capture devices. Your dose of daily excitement. I see we have Stephanie joining us and Frank. Thanks for commenting. Good to see you. So this is interesting. This is the HD60S Plus. It's an HDMI encoder, and in case you have not noticed this, if you've tried to order an HDMI encoder in the past couple weeks, you probably saw something disappointing when you went to go buy it. You would see sold out of stock, delivering in a month, something like that. And that's because everyone decided to buy an HDMI encoder at the same time, and they're all sold out. The Camlink 4K appears to be sold out everywhere we look. All of the other encoders that we have been recommending people over the years are completely unavailable. So we are a little stuck on what to recommend people. And last week, if you were watching, I did an unboxing of this Pengo device here. And guess what happened about 30 minutes after I did the video? It was sold out. So that didn't really help much. Since then, the Camlink came back into stock. That only lasted about half a day, I would say, and then that was sold out again. But we did notice one interesting thing, that the Elgato HD60S, which is kind of like, I guess this is something geared towards gamers primarily, became available on Elgato's website. And it actually wasn't available before. They had it on their website for months, but there didn't seem to be any place to buy it even before the COVID-19 outbreak situation. This was just unavailable. Maybe it just wasn't quite ready yet. But it is on there now. Of course, at time of publishing, this is not sold out. And I know we have a few of our members are actually using these, but there were some questions coming in, and we just wanted to test it out and make sure this is all working. So let's do this. All ready? You ready for the HD60S Plus unboxing? All right, let's get started. This came from bestbuy.com, I believe. If you go to Elgato's website, you are looking at, I think you can order it directly from Elgato or through Best Buy. It's not on Amazon, as far as I can tell. Here, let's open this thing up and check it out. Now, the first thing I notice is that this is definitely a device that's geared towards the gaming community. So if you look at the back, it's telling me that it's for authentic gameplay. 4K, 60 frames per second, pass-through, audio input, all the stuff you want if you are live streaming your video games. But the price was right. I think it was about $140, so not really a whole lot different than other HDMI encoders. Open this up. Elgato logo here. Alright, so we have a nice presentation coming with more than one cable. We've got a cable for USB-C and a cable for USB-A. So that's a nice touch. They give you both cables. And here is the device. So no real big surprises here. It is definitely much larger than a Camlink. It's got some heft to it, and it has way more plugs than a Camlink. It has what you'd expect, the USB and the HDMI, but there's two other things here. There's an audio input, so that I guess is if you want to connect an additional microphone, and it also has HDMI output. Now I imagine that is for gaming, where if you connect like your Xbox or something to this via HDMI, then you can also in turn connect a television to the output, and it's going to pass through. That's an HDMI pass-through. So you can actually watch your game without any latency while it's also going into the encoder. Probably not something that we're going to need. All right, let's right now I'm using a Camlink. Phone call. Right now I'm using a Camlink connected to this Canon. So let's try adding this. Let's try swapping this out instead. All right, you can see my Camlink here. cable, huh? And since it comes with a USB-C cable, I don't need a hub. I don't need to go through a hub thing. I can just plug this directly into the remaining USB-C port on my Mac. So why don't we plug it in? Oh, wait a minute, now I'm all confused. I was wrong. So the USB-C is what connects to here. And then USB-A is on this end. This is just an HDMI cable. I was mistaken about what this was. Oh well, I got excited there for a minute. I don't know if we have any USB-C to USB-C cables, so I don't have to mess with this hub. Well, I'll unplug my Stream Deck. And I'm going to plug in. Let's get them both plugged in at the same time here. Okay, I plugged it in. Alright. And I lost the sound. Alright, so when I plugged that in, my Yeti exploded. Didn't explode, but it stopped working. I think maybe my USB got a little overloaded. Let me try it again. Test, test. Okay, the Yeti is back. Alright, so it did not like having two Elgato devices plugged into that hub. I think it must have drawn too much power. But it's interesting, it kept my camera going. But as soon as I plugged this in, the Yeti just dropped off the face of the earth. So let me see if I have a USB-C cable here that I can use. I'll just use the one off this monitor. Okay. All right, so here's USB-C. I'm gonna plug it directly into the game capture. Okay, so now I've got this plugged in. My microphone's hanging in there. And Frank is pointing out I should be using a powered USB hub. Yeah, I kind of like this USB hub, but it's definitely not powered. I hope you guys can still hear my sound after that little disaster. Alright, so now here is the moment of truth. I am going to try this thing. I'm going to unplug this very carefully. Plug in this thing. Nothing yet. Okay, so I am trying to plug in this game capture thing. So far, it's not, it's just black so far. Oh, I plugged in the wrong, I plugged it into the output instead of the input. Alright, now I'm going to plug it into the correct hole. That must be a support nightmare for them. I bet people always plug it into the wrong hole. Boom! Alright. We are live with the HD60S Plus. The picture looks gorgeous. It looks like it's pulling in 1080 resolution. I'm not sure what I must have the camera set on 1080. Bradford pointing out that it's dark. You might just be talking about the black screen. No, seriously, I plugged it in. I plugged it into the wrong hole. I'm an idiot. All right. So this looks good. I mean, it actually looks clearer than the cam link. I like the picture. It's very sharp. And since this thing goes up to 4K, I imagine that the 4K would also look very sharp on this. So we'll have to do another broadcast later with the 4K connection on YouTube. And yeah, this looks great. And I mean, the latency is probably a little bit different than the Camlink. Right now I have it set on a 3-frame delay. So you guys can tell me how this looks if I do the, if I snap my fingers, for example. Like, was that synced up on the live video? Because I had a 3-frame delay for the Camlink. So not sure about what we're doing for this thing, but it's a beast. This thing's a nice looking device. Yeah, so far so good. Yeah, it's and Bradford's wondering about the cropping. It's a good question. I mean, I don't know why it would crop. Let me go back to the Camlink and check it out. Actually, you know what? Like I did for the Penguin, let's do a side-by-side here. So I'm going to grab this picture of me, just screenshot it. Paste it in as an overlay. Okay, here's me with the with this HD60S Plus. Now I'm going to switch it back over to the Camlink. Here's my built-in. Plugging in the Camlink. Now. All right, so this is the Camlink, and this is the HD60S Plus. So if there is any difference, it's very subtle. I would almost say they look exactly the same. Let's look in the comments here if there's any. And we are getting a comment that the latency looks good, so it must have about the same latency as the Camlink, so that's good. And a question about the trick with the picture. So what I did here was so this is just an image overlay, and what I did was I held down Command Control Shift 4, and then you can check a screenshot on your Mac, and Command Control Shift 4 sends the screenshot directly to the clipboard. And then I went in Ecamm Live, Edit, Paste as Overlay, and it will paste that screenshot directly into the broadcast. So that's just a little trick that we use sometimes to compare things. But yeah, as Adrian's saying, they're the same. It looks like it's basically probably has very similar hardware to the Camlink 4K, because I know that can also do 60 FPS. And then they've added the output. And they've added the mic input. I don't know if we have something that will let us control the mic input. It's tangled up here. What's this going to have on the end of it? Sorry, guys. I wasn't prepared for this, but it looks like I have a mic that I can plug in and try this mic input. It's an interesting idea. All right, yeah. So we have this we have a mic here, and you can see what this has on the end. It's just an 1/8" audio plug. So hypothetically, we can plug this into the hole. Oh wait, I'm not even using it right now. Switch back. All right, we're back on the HD60S. So hypothetically, I can connect this to this audio input jack here. So you can get a better look at this. But now I have let me zoom in. So now I have USB-C coming in, HDMI, and I've also connected a mic just right into this hole. So this will be interesting. You can take a look and see what happens when I pick this as my mic. So Game Capture HD60S is showing up in the in the microphone list. And I think it's working. Yeah, but is this coming from my mic or from the camera? That's the question. Let me tap on it. Blow in. No, that's the sound. I think that's the sound from the camera mic. Yeah, I don't think it's pulling the sound from this mic. Let me try turning off echo. Yeah, I think that it's not working. So more, I'll look in the comments here and see what you guys heard. Yeah, Eileen's saying sounds like the camera mic. Frank says coming from somewhere in the room. That's accurate. So it looks like we have a lot of votes for the camera mic. So I guess a little more. I mean, it's not like a deal breaker. I'm not quite sure what the use case would be for using for plugging in a mic into that hole. Wait, Eileen says okay, now it's the mic. So was it maybe when I turned off the echo cancel? Let me try adding in the I don't know. I get so much background noise in this office anyway. I can't really tell. But more research is necessary on that microphone hole. I think that could be a neat way to add, yeah, lots of static, I guess, when I switch the mics. More research is necessary. It could be like a neat way to to add a mic that will be, because if you add your mic to the encoder, then it's going to go back to, it's going to use, they're going to be perfectly synchronized, right? Because your mic is coming right into the HDMI encoder, and it's going to be synced up with the video. So if we can hear that, if we can get that going, that might be pretty cool. But I'm not sure exactly how to use that extra input. We could also try in another video to try that output port. That would be cool. But yeah, so this has been a really cool unboxing. So far, so good. I think that this is going to prove to be a really nice encoder. The HD60S Plus. I should mention that. Yeah, so this is wicked confusing. This is the HD60S Plus, which is very different than the HD60 and the HD60S. The HD60S Plus is a plug-and-play device that you can plug into a Mac and it just works, just like you'd expect it to. The one without a plus is not. The one without a plus does not work out of the box on Macs. You have to run a little hacky app called OBS Link, which pulls in the video data from the device and rebroadcasts it as an NDI source, which is weird but works. And then apparently you can't have more than one going at the same time. So HD60S in a pinch can be used with extra software, but it is not plug and play. I guess it uses Windows Direct Play technology, which I guess is so plug and play for Windows but not Mac, whereas this one with the plus is definitely plug and play. Another thing to note is when I typed in HD60S Plus into Google, it took away the plus sign. I don't know, some weird thing with Google, I guess. But just make sure you're getting the right one. It looks like Katie just put a link in the comments below. But so far, so good. We like this device. And I think it's really cool that it has a USB-C plug. I think it's really cool that it has a pass-through. And I think it's also, since it's larger, this may even, it suggests to me that it has a nice big heat sink so that it won't get overloaded very well. And, The one weird thing I noticed is that on the box, there seems to be these glowing lights. You see the glowing lights along this top area here? I am not getting any glow. It's just dead. It's just black. It's just dead. So no love from the glowing lights, but it's definitely on. I'm definitely using the game capture device right now. But as to why there are no white LEDs running across here, I got nothing. And Christy is asking about the why do I have USB and HDMI plugged in? The USB is what's connecting it to my Mac. That's how it's getting in. That's how it's coming into my Mac. So you can think of the HDMI as the input and the USB as the output. And then Marco, it's true. It does look like it would look cool, and also the glow is actually useful, at least on the CamLink LED. The CamLink LED is useful because you can tell when it's working and when it's not working. And with this, I guess there would be no indication unless I can figure out how to get the lights to light up. And JC is suggesting that I don't break it. I have no plans on breaking this, but I like this device. We are not getting paid by Elgato, but I am going to make my unscripted, unscheduled unboxing rating of 4.5 out of 5. And I rate it a buy. It loses half a point because it does not come with a USB to USB-C cable. That would have been a nice touch. It loses a little for not actually working with that mic port. I'm not sure what's up with that. And it also loses a little bit for not lighting up. It would have been super cool if it was lighting up. I'll just answer one more question here before I go. Will it work with Mac to Nikon or to my Canon? Yeah, so this is any camera that has an HDMI port on it is going to be compatible. The one thing you want to check is just to make sure that your camera has clean HDMI output. Usually you can type in the name of your camera and the words clean HDMI output, and you'll find pretty quickly on Google whether your camera has that. What that means is an HDMI feed that doesn't have the text info like you see through your viewfinder. Like some cameras, you look at the HDMI feed and it'll look like you're looking through the viewfinder. You'll see the focus ring, you'll see information across the top. That means it's not a clean feed, and it's not going to be very useful to you. But something like this Canon, I can get this nice clean feed up to 4K, and you're all set. All right, tune in next time to our unscheduled, unscripted unboxing of various things. I don't think they have to be HDMI capture devices necessarily. Next time, maybe we'll unbox something a little more interesting. But this was fun, everybody. Happy Tuesday! Exit music.